Hey tech kids, welcome back to Tech and Talk. In this special video, we are going to unlock the power of self-join. In this dedicated session, I will explain you step-by-step guide on how to leverage this powerful SQL technique. In this session, I will explain you what is self-join, why we can consider this as a game changer in SQL. Also, I am going to discover few scenarios where a self-join is the optimal solution. I will give you some real-time example to make this video as a value addition for you. So guys, when we are saying self-join, so as per the name only, it is suggesting the table is joined with itself. And when to use that? So when you have a table that contain hierarchical data and when you need to compare the rows within the same table. So these are the few use cases. Also, I'm going to show you what are the optimal solution where we can use the cell join. In this example, we are going to see the different variation of cell join, and here you can consider this is your organization data where we're storing the employee ID and their manager ID. It means who is the manager of this employee. Before jump into the cell join example, I will explain you the employee hierarchy. So here in the employee table, here you can see the employee name and their manager IDs. So here John Doe manager is null. It means John Doe is a parent and Ella Smith manager ID is 1. It means Ella Smith manager ID is 1 here. So employee ID. So Ella Smith manager is John Doe. Bob Johnson manager ID is also 1. So it means Bob Johnson manager is also John Doe. Eva Brown manager is 2 and here the LS Smith is a manager of the Eva Brown. Charlie White, for Charlie White the manager ID is 3 and Bob Johnson, here Charlie White manager is Bob Johnson because the employee ID is 3 here. So in this employee table, so guys, if you can see here, I have stored the manager ID in the same employee table. I have not created any separate table to store the manager ID and their manager name because here, so because some other user may thought that so we can create the separate table to store the manager ID, but as a good database designer you will always never create a separate table to store the manager ID, because anyway that manager ID is nothing but the employee ID. Because if you can see here LS Smith manager ID is 1, it means LS Smith manager is John Doe and we have a name also here, so we don't want to create an extra table to store the manager ID. So try to understand the situation here. So guys, here this is the situation which is very optimal for the cell join. So here this is the best example you can consider for the cell join, and if any interviewer is asking you also the same question, then you can also explain him the same. Now we will see the all the variation of the cell join. So I will start with the inner join variation. So what will be the query here for cell join? Select star from employee. Here you will have to join inner join on employee again on here. I am declaring the alias as E, and here I am giving the alias as EMP. Now what I have to join here on dot E dot employee ID equal to EMP dot manager ID, and here I am giving the star, so we will get all the record. Now let me modify. Let's say you have to get all the employee and their manager name. So this type of hierarchy. So what I will do here, I will give the EMP dot employee name, and here E dot employee name, and I will again create a alias here. So I'm giving it as a manager name. So now let me execute this query. See here, we're getting employee name and who is the manager of this employee. So if you can see here in the both the queries, let me execute both the queries. Here you can see Bob Johnson manager ID. here the manager ID is 1. It means Bob Johnson manager is John Doe. So same result here we are getting for all the so let me copy this query, and what I will do for the other variation, instead of inner, I will give the left join. Here, let me execute this query now. So here you can see again we are getting the same result, but here this time we are getting the null values. So you can modify your queries as per your need. And the other variation here, again I'm copying this query, and this time I will update with the right. See here. Here also I'm getting the same result. Bob Johnson manager is John Doe. So what we have done till this point, we are joining on the same table. So here also you can see we are joining on the employee, and here also we are joining on the same table. It means we are using the self join, and what we have seen the three different variation of the self join by using the inner join, left join and the right join. So instead of using these three approach by using the inner join, left join and right join, we have one more approach, and which is a very modern approach for writing the self join queries. So what is the syntax for it? Select star from employee, again comma, again I will give the same table, and here I will make a alias as E, and for second employee I am making the alias as EMP. So if you can notice here, I'm using the same table but making the two different alias. And instead of using on, I'm using here the where. So and I will copy paste this. And here instead of star, I will copy paste the same. So this is here we are using the cell join approach. Here you can see the employee name Bob Johnson and their manager name. Here is I'll have to give the manager name. So see here again we are getting the Bob Johnson manager is John Doe. Now what I will do, I will copy this query and I will paste it here. Now I will execute both the queries. See here in both the approach we are getting the same result. So this is the modern query to write the self join syntax. So if you can use the any query to give the example in the interviews, but interviewer may ask you and might confuse you regarding this syntax. So keep this in mind. So here guys, let me give you the actual use case of this self join. So everyone is aware about the Facebook relationships, right? So everyone can see the relationship. So who is the brother, who is your sister, so that we can see on the Facebook, right? So here also what I'm going to create. So I'm going to create one user table. So here you can see Bob. Bob is C for child, F for father. Okay, so Bob, uh, Bob father is John, and Bob mother is Lucy. Okay, and who is the daughter of Bob? So Emma. Emma is the daughter of Bob, and Bob is married to Carol. So you can consider here. So it's your relation, it's your user table, and in the same single table, we're going to maintain the relationship between the user. So how we can do that? So here guys, what I have done, I have created a user table and I'm storing the user ID, username, father user ID and mother user ID. So why I'm storing the father user ID and mother user ID here? Because these are also the user. So you can consider here, we are having a user table under Facebook, and father is also the user of Facebook and mother is also using the Facebook. So both are using the Facebook. So mother, father and daughter, whatever the son, so everyone is using the Facebook here. Okay. So guys, you can try to understand here. So for Bob, you can see here the father user ID is 1. 1 means here it's a John, right? So Bob father is a John, and same Bob mother is a 4 year, so it means Lucy. Okay, so if you can understand here, it means John and Lucy married, so it's a husband-wife relationship here. Okay, same for will go by Ema here. So same for Ema. The father, Ema's father is a Bob. This is the Ema's father here, and Ema's mother is a Carol. So similar like that. So Bob and Carol married here, and this is a husband-wife relationship. Okay, between Bob and Carol. But if you can consider Ema and Bob and Carol relationship, so it's a daughter and parent relationship here. Okay. So here guys, if you want to identify the relationship between the user, then how will you identify, right? And how will you write the query for it? Okay. So here it's the best solution and the best approach is the self join. So you can use the self join query here to identify the relationship between the user. So let's say if you want who is the father of this Bob, who is the mother of this Bob, and here also the same for Ema. So let's say if you want to get this type of record, then you can write a cell join query. So here guys, to make this video faster, I have written the cell join query. Okay, so here I will explain you that. So here if you can see, here I am using the user table, here also I am using the same table, and here also I am using the same table. So this first user here I am making it alias as a child, and for second I am making it as a father, and this time for mother. Okay, and on condition I'm just giving the father dot user id equal to here user id. Anyway, these both user ids, three, all the user id here, anyway we're storing in all three columns are user id. Okay, so ultimately our join will be on user id. Okay, so let me run this query now. See guys, here we're getting the result. Who is the child? Child name is Bob, and who is the father of this child, and who is the mother of this child. So same for Ema. So whatever we have seen, right? So we are getting the desired result. And see guys, here try to understand how it is simple, right? And how can we design a database tree? How can we simplify the database tree using a single table here? So try to understand guys. So guys, here we have seen how very easily we have segregated that relationship, and how we solve that relationship problem by using the self join approach. So similar way guys, whenever you are having this type of database tree problem, you can solve this problem very easily by using this self join approach. In today's video, we have seen how can we simplify the database tree user problem, and also understood the use cases of self join. What is self join? Why we need a self join? What is the actual use case? What is the real time scenario of self join? So one request guys, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe the channel. Your questions are always welcome. So please drop me a comment if you have any question. And similar to this video, I will try to simplify the things. So until next time, be calm, learn tech, grow skills, stay patient with Tech and Talk.